Recording in progress.
Good afternoon, everybody. Nice to be back here after a victory, and it's been a few weeks since we've been able to come into a Tuesday press conference after a win. So, man, it's a good feeling. It's great for our players. I thought we had a really good week of practice leading up to the UAB game, and I was just glad that the hard work and the effort that those guys put in paid off for them. I thought we played fairly well. Thought there were some things that we certainly could do better, and some fundamental things we're going to need to spend some time on this week. But glad to get a victory. It was much needed, and now looking forward to playing back at home here at Monken Stadium. We've had 2 overtime games here that unfortunately didn't go our way so far this season. So anxious to get back here and try to play well and play in front of our home crowd.
Rich, you want to kick us off?
Coach, sold-out game, month of October, Monken Stadium, West Point. When you think of that, you've been here since your 12th year. When you think about the fall and Monken Stadium, a sold-out crowd, what goes through your mind?
It's a terrific setting. I think it's a reason that so many people have said over the course of the time I've been here that, you know, if they've not been here before, that they've always wanted to come and experience a game day at Monken Stadium. And for those that have, just say that it's one of the most beautiful settings in college football in the fall when the leaves are changing, and it's a fall Saturday afternoon. So, regardless, I hope we play well. That's all that really matters is us being able to execute our assignments and fundamentals to the best of our ability, and hope that we can be competitive. And so again, we're excited to be back home and play here in this great venue.
How great was it to begin a practice week off of a victory?
I think it's amazing the attitude that comes with winning. The aches and pains don't feel as bad, and it's just the excitement of that feeling of victory, and frankly, it's just a relief to not have to feel like we did after losing. The last couple of weeks been miserable, and that's just the way it is as a competitor. You want to win, you work hard, you play hard, you compete to win, and it's a great feeling when you do. So I'm happy for our guys, and it's certainly not going to earn us any points this coming Saturday. Charlotte's got a very well-coached team. They're a very talented team, and we're going to have to play particularly well to be in the ball game and be competitive with them. So we got to get prepared to do that.
Ken McMillan?
Jeff, was there anything that you learned about your team following that performance on Saturday?
Learned. I learned we still got to sustain blocks at a better, with a better effort than we did. It's hard to be 100% perfect, but I'd like us to try to be. We're going to strive to be. We got to do a better job of making every tackle, miss some tackles, and the fundamentals that come along with both of those things. I thought we did a really good job of taking care of the ball on offense. That was encouraging, and got a takeaway on defense and one on special teams. Those were big plays for us. So, I learned maybe that we're capable of improving each week, and I thought we improved from the East Carolina game to the UAB game, and hopefully we can improve from the UAB game to the Charlotte game. We're going to need to.
And of course, the inevitable question: what's the quarterback situation this week?
Inevitably, we're going to have one, and I can't tell you at this moment who it's going to be, who the starter's going to be. But like Saturday, we played both of those guys. We did the week before, and I think there's probably a justification for playing both of them and using both of them. I don't know which one will take the first snap yet, though.
What is it that you're looking for from them during the week that will establish that, not only for this Saturday, but beyond? I'm sure you want a starter.
Well, there'll be a starter. and I don't know that it has to establish itself that one of them is going to be the clear starter and the other guy's the backup. It creates competition. It causes those guys to, I think, have to really focus their effort and be on top of their game every day at practice. I think it's healthy, and so right now I think both of them have made enough plays that it justifies playing them in the games. And I think really it comes down to, by the end of the week, who are we most confident in going out there and taking the first snaps and starting the game for us, and that's where I think our decision will lie, Ken.
I heard you make a reference on the radio show last night about facing a quarterback that we know that Charlotte lost its starting quarterback, played a couple the other day. Likewise, teams haven't seen Dwayne and Kale all that much. So what's it like trying to anticipate what Charlotte's going to do, and then conversely, how about them trying to figure out what you're trying to do?
I think our opponents probably at this point have seen enough of both of our quarterbacks that they got a pretty good idea of what their skill set is, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. For Charlotte, obviously losing their starting quarterback, it's a big blow when you have an established quarterback. But what they've got are two guys that played against South Florida that have both played big-time football, a transfer from Duke, a transfer from Southern Miss. They've played in big games, and both very capable. They both did a really nice job. South Florida's got a great football team, and they managed to continue to stay in the game and move the football and score points. And so those guys, I thought, did a really good job. And it's not easy to step in that role where there's an established guy and he's played most of the snaps, and all of a sudden you find yourself as a starter. I think it's a little different situation for us in that these two guys were, they were really duking it out since the spring, along with Ethan Washington, to be the starting quarterback. So our guys are brand new starters. It's just that they've been doing it since the beginning of the year, and the two guys that they have kind of been thrust into that situation.
I thought Hayden Reed looked as strong as we've seen him this year. What's your take on Hayden and the way he's playing, the way he's feeling?
He looked better. He did, and looked healthier. And sometimes you get injuries and they slow you down. And I think his has slowed him down a little bit, but he seems to be getting more back to himself, and he did Saturday, looked more like himself. I don't know that he's there 100%, but he's getting closer.
And Jake Rendino also has come up with some key plays, whether it be carrying the ball for first down or just making key blocks.
He has. Jake's such a tough guy. He got injured in the Kansas State game, and where we thought that was going to be a little while with him being out, his strength, the core strength that he has in his legs and his lower body, and just overall as this high school weightlifting champion, very well developed. He came back from that injury pretty quickly, and I think he's played well. I think Carson Smith has played well, and though Briggs didn't get a bunch of plays on Saturday, he got nicked up a little bit. He's played well when he's gotten in there too. So I think that group of running backs has really helped carry the load when Hayden hadn't been able to play. Those other guys have done a good job.
Lastly, I looked at the depth chart, not really any changes this week. I know we've had injuries in recent weeks and you've had to fill in. But the fact that it's kind of like a consistent lineup again. What are the advantages? Do you see the team getting stronger as a result of continuity?
I think anytime you can keep your starters in there and they're playing the majority of the snaps, a team will be at its best. There are starters for a reason, and so some of those starters are hurt a little bit. I don't know that they're full speed, but it's good to have continuity in the lineup. I think that was one thing that really contributed to our success a year ago, is we stayed healthy almost the entire year. We really didn't have any major injuries that sidelined guys for a long period of time, and we've had some of those this year. Obviously, with Cody Harris-Miller still being out, and There are other guys that have missed games. It is good to see him kind of getting back to full health, but it's a challenge because we got to practice hard. We have to practice physical if we're going to be the team that we need to be. And the games are tough. It's a physical, rough sport, and guys run into each other, and there's big people that are moving really fast, running into other people, and just inevitably there's going to be some injuries sometimes. So it's the challenge of trying to keep those guys healthy and still playing the kind of football that we need to play and want to play here.
Austin, kick us off on Zoom.
Yep, we'll go to Sal Interdonato first. Sal, go ahead, please.
Hey, Coach, hope all is well.
You too.
I saw that the coaching staff selected Jack Latour as the defensive player of the game for UAB. I was wondering if you could talk about his play and maybe the defensive line's play and how that might bode well for future games for you guys.
Jack's played really tough, and he's a tough guy, a long player that really uses that length as levers or as leverage against defenders. He's had his share of injuries and some things that nag now that he's played the game of college football for 4 years here with us. And his snaps are not, it's not like he's playing every single snap of the game. And that's really the case with the defensive line. We rotate those guys in a lot. We try to keep them fresh. But Jack's played as tough and as hard and as well as anybody up front, particularly the last couple of weeks. And we thought he had a really good football game on Saturday. So I just love his temperament and the way that he leads through that toughness that he has. And the defensive line, there's a lot of guys playing, and some of that again is it's the result of perhaps some of those guys not being able to play every single snap of every single game, but it does keep them fresh. And sometimes it's for a particular guy and what he does and his particular strengths that he's in the game at that moment. But I think probably, as I think back, we've played a lot of guys on the defensive line, maybe throughout my tenure here, and rotated guys. And typically, and you've been to a lot of games here, Sal, our defensive line, physically, the size of them, their length, their body weight, doesn't necessarily match up with the guys that are lined up across in the other jerseys playing offensive line. I mean, we play some big people, and 2 weeks ago we played East Carolina, and they had their two offensive guards were both over 335. One was 338 and one was 344. I think they had them listed. Those are incredibly huge people, and so we're putting guys out there that aren't close to that, and just they get pounded around a little bit sometimes, and getting fresh bodies and fresh legs and guys that are can go out there and battle for a few snaps and rotate. That's just kind of the way we've been at that position, and probably will continue to be.
What did you think of the play of the offensive line against UAB? And I know that you noted that Will Jeffcoat was the offensive player of the game from that performance. What did you see in the line, and what did you see in his play?
I thought the offensive line and the tight ends played really well at the point of attack. We had a couple plays. Probably we left some meat on the bone, and thought we maybe could hit some bigger plays. Maybe it was just the running back, staying play side and sliding his own play to the backside a little bit later, or just sustaining a block for a little bit longer by one of those guys up front. There were plays like that, but I thought overall we were able to move the football and keep moving the chains. The opening drive really was very encouraging to have that many plays and control the clock for over 10 minutes. The offensive line's got to be doing a great job if we're going to do that as an offense. So I thought their play overall was certainly improved from the week before, and Will had a really good football game.
On the subject of the long drives, I know you love those long touchdown drives, but is there a concern for the lack of big plays from your offense? I think you only had one play over 20 yards to pass to Samari Howard.
The most important stat is points per possession, and we aren't doing that as well this year as we did a year ago. But that's all that matters. When we have the ball, do we score? And obviously, we want to score touchdowns. That increases the points per possession. Doesn't matter if we have the ball 5 times or 15 times. The goal is to score. And a year ago, we were very efficient and one of the best in the country in points per possession, though we were one of the team, or we were probably near the bottom for how many possessions we had each game. There's the pace of the game and how many possessions per game we average. We're going to be way on the low end, but we just need to maximize that. And big plays are hard to get. And for all the same reasons that there's guys that are 344 pounds blocking defensive linemen that are 265 pounds. There's guys that run 500 meters in an entire secondary that we face, and we don't have a guy on our team who runs 10.5. So, that's not a knock on our guys. It's just we've got to operate the way we need to in order to win and to be competitive and move the ball up and down the field. And 20-yard plays, those are 20-yard plays are hard to get. I think a big play is 10 yards. Doesn't matter if it's a run or a pass. That's a first down. If you can hit a 10-yard play, it's positive. And I don't know that we are trailing behind our opponents too much in that category where we have a 10-yard play. But there's games we track it, and how many big plays, 10+ yards, how many negative yardage plays where we go backwards, the other team goes backwards. We track those. Those are important. I think they make a difference in the game. The statistics suggest that they do. So I can assure you that every play we've got, besides the one where we're taking a knee in victory, are all designed to score touchdowns and be a big play. So hopefully, just by the way we play, we'll be able to create some.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll go next to Ken Kreitzer. Ken, go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Coach. Good to see you. Hey, just maybe talk a little bit about Charlotte. They have a new head coach this year, Tim Albin. Comes from Ohio, and he had a lot of success there, 3 straight 10-win seasons, a couple of bowl games, and a MAC championship. And he's also was an offensive coordinator at North Dakota State. What does Coach Albin bring to the University of Charlotte?
He's an outstanding football coach. He's a terrific guy. I've gotten a chance to be around him at some of the conference meetings, but just a great deal of respect for him, the success that he's had, his career, and the way he builds his teams. He watches Ohio University teams. They're very physical. They ran the ball, played great defense, and to win 10 games in a college football season is really tough to do. And as you said, he did it 3 times. So he was MAC Coach of the Year twice, well deserved, and he's coaching a good team there at Charlotte, and it's a challenge to take over a new program. And I've been there, and every coach that's a head coach has had to take over and start a program, and it's not easy to do, but they're tough, they're physical, they're competitive, they're playing good on special teams. They got their return game is as good as anybody in the country. That's kickoff and punt return. They're doing some really good things, and they got some good players. So they'll improve, just like I hope we'll improve as the season goes along. And they're going to be athletic and big. And Ken, here at Army, every game is a challenge for us. Every game. And this one will be a tremendous challenge for us as well.
Perfect. We'll go to JJ Pavlik next. JJ, go ahead.
How you doing, Coach? Obviously, this team's been showing resilience after the early season challenges. What have you seen from both the coaching staff and players that have helped turn the season around?
Well, I don't know if we've turned the season around. We had one win after dropping a couple in a row, and our guys have played tough. You know, the East Carolina game, those guys beat the pants off us. They took control of the game right from the beginning, went up 21-0. But our guys battled the rest of the way. We didn't score enough points to get back in the game. Our defense, I thought, played really, really well and really tough throughout the rest of the game after the first quarter of that game. We've been in 2 overtime games and managed to come out victorious in a couple. But you know, because we won at UAB, I don't know that we've turned the season around. There's a lot of football still left to play, and I'm not judging the season based on 5 games. It's one game at a time, and we're going to try to do our best to play as well as we can in this game. Our coaches have worked really hard. Our players have worked really hard. They continue to practice and prepare with a great spirit and energy. Last week, I thought, was a great week of practice, and it paid off. Paid off by those guys playing well and us making enough plays to win the game. But our coaching staff, I can't say enough for them. I think we've got an outstanding coaching staff here, and they work hard, both schematically as well as teachers in the classroom, and the work that they do with our players fundamentally on a daily basis. And it's a team effort. It's everybody together. We all got to go compete together. We've all got to do our job. We all got to do our part. And I think everybody's working hard to do that. We haven't gotten the results every single week that we'd certainly like to have, but it hasn't been because we've all of a sudden changed. We've continued to put the effort in that we always have, and nothing takes the place of hard work. So we're going to try to continue to do that.
How big was it to get that early sack by Cole and then the blocked field goal to help the offense when you guys were down at UAB?
UAB did a nice job moving the football down the field, and getting the negative yardage play was big, and the blocked field goal to keep them off the board in the opening drive, I thought that was fantastic. It was Jacob Tuioti got his hand on it first, and it kind of tipped off of his fingers, and Jack Bowsam got the rest of it, and it was a big play by the defense. And obviously then the offense was able to come out and go 18 plays and 10-plus minutes and score to take the lead 7-0. I think it was huge, you know, for them to come out and get a kick blocked and then not see the ball again until the second quarter. That was a big series in the game.
Obviously, you guys had some positives and there were some negatives against UAB, but how do you take those positives into this game against Charlotte, especially with the sold-out crowd that'll be behind you?
Just try to build on the things that we did well and improve on the things that we didn't. You know, we've got to work on fundamentals every day here. It's our practices are not, we don't roll the balls out and practice scheme and just run plays up and down the field. We spend an inordinate amount of time working on blocking and tackling and ball security, and even in the special teams. And we work individual drills and fundamentals of the special teams to give our guys the best chance. We've got to play very sound when it comes to fundamentals and very sound in our assignments in order to even have a chance. So I think building on those fundamentals is really what we're going to focus on, and we try to do that every week.
During the broadcast, ESPN had said that you guys were not built to go down the field, especially with limited time. Do you think that's a fair observation of the team, or do you think that was a little unfair since you guys were able to accomplish that?
Well, I don't know. You saw the drive there in the first half there at the end. I believe we did that against North Texas. Historically, if you look at what we've done, we had a overtime win over Temple here. We got the ball with a minute and 25 seconds to go. We went down and scored a touchdown and took it to overtime. against Missouri, they scored a late touchdown. We drove the ball down and kicked a field goal at the end. I don't know that we're not built for that. What we're not built to do is to just spread it out and sling it all over the field and go 3 and out a bunch and send our defense out there, 12, 13, 14 possessions a game. That's not how we're built. So we operate the way we operate because we have to, but we practice those end of half, end of game scenarios multiple times every week. So we'll do that today. It's our offense against our defense. Both the ones and the twos will get a chance to compete against each other. And we have a scenario, an end of game, end of half scenario that we'll practice and hopefully prepares us for those situations. So it's hard to be 100% in those situations. You watch other people that have a more, I guess, quote unquote, traditional offense. So I guess they're built for that. They still have a tough time going down the field in that situation and scoring. So I don't know that our percentage in those situations is any worse or any different than anybody else. Maybe it is, but we just try to prepare for those situations. And the entire game, it's made up of different situations. So throughout the week and in our practices, we prepare for those situations that may come up.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Coach.
Recording